Here's a look at some of the small cap company news we've been covering over the past week at Proactive. Metals One is targeting uranium recovery from historic mine waste in Colorado's Uravan belt with zero capex exposure thanks to its partnership with DISA Technologies. Gamma data is due by the end of May and assay results by the third quarter, with a potential revenue stream emerging as early as mid-2027.
Look, I think it's as close to fast-tracking uranium exploration and production as you can get. There's strong US government support for domestic recovery of uranium and critical minerals from legacy mine waste. I think the added benefit here is, we're not only extracting uranium for a revenue stream, we're also able to clean up the surrounding environment and waterways.
Critical Mineral Resources is drilling copper intercepts averaging 5 metres at Agadir Melloul in Morocco, well above its 2-metre target with less than 3% of the area tested so far. A maiden resource is targeted for the third quarter, with mine construction potentially starting next year if drilling continues to deliver.
We've only drilled a tiny area, and we know that there's a mine approximately 50 kilometres away with exactly the same geology that's 100 million tonnes. Our target, not this year, but our sort of medium-term target is 25 million tonnes. In the company, we're all very confident, and the drilling results is pointing towards, a decent resource, but we just want to take things step by step.
Ariana Resources has raised $19.5 million from partially selling its Zenit stake, leaving it debt-free and well-funded to accelerate feasibility work at its Dokwe Gold project in Zimbabwe. Gold mineralisation has now been confirmed extending at least 150 metres beyond the current resource envelope and remains open along strike.
Now completed on the partial divestment, taking our holding in Zenit mining operations down to 9.9%. That yields cash of $19.5 million, which we have received in Turkey.
IXICO delivered 23% revenue growth and 38% increase in its order book in the first half, with strong momentum in later stage Alzheimer's programs driving demand. A £10 million fundraise will accelerate the company's tech bio strategy, including the launch of its upgraded IXI platform.
When I joined 18 months ago, I couldn't have hoped that today we are where we are. So I think from a CRO perspective, we are hopefully proving now that it is totally possible in the CNS, so the neurodegenerative space, to have a company of our size with double-digit growth, overachieving, and we're going to continue to do that, but then also utilizing that technology to truly scale.
EMV Capital grew assets under management by 15% to £112.5 million last year, with platform revenue reaching just over £3 million. Portfolio highlights include AMR Bio's progress towards an FDA Phase 3 application, Sofant Technologies OEM partnerships, and Deep Tech Recycling's first pilot plant plans.
Reaching and growing beyond the 100 million mark is not a destination, it's a step. We're very much focused on the next milestone for our business, which is reaching the 200 million plus AUM.
Ilika has delivered its first commercial Stereax battery revenue and expects multiples of that in the year just started, with 27 evaluation agreements in place and a Brompton e-bike collaboration underway. CEO Graham Purdy says the focus is converting pipeline interest into larger manufacturing deals.
But ultimately, we are looking to convert those sampling agreements into larger scale manufacturing agreements. And over the next 12 months, we expect to see progress on that front.
Follow us and subscribe on YouTube, our social channels, and on proactiveinvestors.co.uk.